Nebulous Fleet Command is a game about figuring out what the hell is on screen before your opponent does, because if you don't, he will introduce you to a neat procedure called involuntary space dust conversion therapy. While I have seen it described as an authentic depiction of space warfare, it kinda isn't. But that doesn't mean a game must be realistic to be good. I'm looking at you, Fark, for KSP, who ruins all of my space planes. Between in-depth mechanics, a wonderful modding community, and the unlimited LARP potential of this game, Nebulous Fleet Command is the perfect gateway drug to full-spectrum warfare. Anyways, I introduced a friend to this game the other week. Let's check on how he's doing.
I spent the past 5 hours kitting out a battleship! Tie me to a thunderhead and fire me up!
I think he likes the game. Nebulous Fleet Command is a game about a civil war waged between the Shelter Alliance and the rebelling Outlying Systems Protectorate, featuring characters like
Caesar Constantine,
the most renowned admiral in the history of the Shelter Alliance, before he joins the War on Terror on the side of the Terror. This is the backdrop for the game's two primary game modes, blowing up the AI and getting blown up by other people. The most recent update also added a third game mode, a full-scale campaign for those who don't enjoy spending half their playtime building their own fleets. Although in the course of making this video, I've been informed by a particularly savvy mining outpost owner that the starter fleets are actually quite good and have been recently updated. To take on this campaign with me, I have voluntold another friend of mine, Aether, to join me on this experience. Without further ado, join us as we guide the Alright everyone, settle down, settle down. I said settle down. Obama's on the train! Alright, that got everyone's attention. I'm here to announce that we're fucked, everything is fucked. The ESPN flew a ship into one of our space stations and now they're rebelling. So they have this aura farmer helping them and he's building these evil cargo ships that are soloing our entire navy. We're sending you through the Immaterium to attack them from behind. Your goal is to break shit, distract their main force in time for our main thrust, and to kill the aura farmer. Godspeed. Now, before we kill the aura farmer, we do have to play Pokemon with the rest of our fleet. Thankfully, our flagship, ANS Harsh Winds Blow, aka Windy, is equipped with an appreciable portion of the Alliance's naval budget. She is escorted by a pair of dubiously combat-effective frigates, but they're still good to have nonetheless. We find the ANS Longlands in a fierce debate with an OSP shuttle captain. Bro, I'm telling you, okay? Patrolling the high frontier makes me sad, alright? My life has not been the same since I lost my son 2 years ago. I swear, if you make one more reference, I will actually slime you out. Let a man mope in peace, okay? Stop being a savage. Surrender, Longlands, we have you surrounded. I cast radio proximity fuse. We arrive at a mining station to find the ANS Winter Chain. The chief of the station invites us over for tea and crumpets. As we approach the station, we notice civilian ships trying to GTFO, and the station's very own big boss starts grilling us on how we managed to slip past the OSP fleet. I'm sure they just do the whole hospitality thing differently in the peripheries, so there's probably nothing to worry about. Windy, help us! They're trying to break in with the Claymore Roombas! Get down!
Too easy. Your lives end here, Alliance dogs. Space yourselves now and die with dignity.
Oh crap, because I'm a genius, I put the Harsh Winds Blow right in the middle of the enemy station. This means that it takes a few hits before a combination of a panic missile salvo and the Longlands finishes the ambush off. We repair our ships at the station and loot it of literally everything before moving on. Welcome to Iron Spindle, the first difficult room in this entire game. The rebels have been using this station to spam out ammunition for their war effort. We need to make them stop. Now. Before we can do that, we have to deal with the guarding force. Totally legitimately obtaining prior intelligence tells me that there is a gremlin with a mass driver at the back of the map. None of the radars on our ships can see it before it sees us and sends a small asteroid in our direction. Thankfully, the great minds at the Shelter Alliance R&D department have us covered. They've basically bolted a giant radar onto a cargo plane or something to create the E-44 sundial. The sundial can be used to decline enemy jamming by simply flying out of their jamming cone before communicating the location of the jammer to everyone else in the fleet. However, its primary use is to extend your sensor range. So I send one out to the back and send a few bombers with him, and he finds the gremlin, and I introduce the gremlin to high caliber amnestics. At this point, two other noteworthy things happen. Number 1, Captain Woodward shows up with the Eminent Domain. Before he goes down, he hits the Winter Chain. So does someone else, so does someone else, and so does someone else, and the Winter Chain gets totaled. The second thing that happens is we get rushed, and the battle turns into this absolute mess. We survive through the power of friendship, and not only do we survive, but the Winter Chain also survives. Of all places it could have died, it died right next to a shipyard. Remember the one starter fleet I showed earlier? This is Task Force Ash. When you deck out a Keystone-class destroyer for skirmish mode, you have the option to put a Mark 600 beam cannon on the front. I know this screen is saying that you have 2 options for the spinal mount, but I want you to know that your eyes are actually lying to you. When you want an enemy to disappear, simply point towards the offending vessel. Drive within 6,000 meters. Click the little button at the bottom that says Battle Short, and fire the cannon. Anacrusis is an absolute slog. The enemy brought so many ships and even a light carrier. We had bombers and fighters playing Ring Around the Rosie, OSP monitors simply refusing to die, and the Winter Chain gets hit for the 50th time. And then the 2 beamstones I found behind a rock in this room came into range. Oh wow, it looks like we killed everyone. That's crazy. Catabasis Station is a very hard room. First, you have to right-click on this boarding point. You then have to board the boarding point. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. It's called Beggar's Hollow because the rock in the center is hollow. Get it? Isn't this funny? Oh hey look, it's ANS Disperse These Mists.
This is Mists. Roger. We found a recess to hide in, and we can't move without exposing ourselves. Radar picked up something big, and we think it can't maneuver in tight places.
I know what they just said sounds very concerning, but I had a flash of brilliance. So I shot a few Thunderheads. They didn't hit anything, but they scared the OSP ships enough to make them dump chaff. While I cannot see the ship models, I can see the chaff they dump. By slapping a cruise missile guidance computer on your missiles, you can give them waypoints to follow. It is a little bit ironic that the most capable missile ship in the entire fleet is Disperse These Mists. It does take some careful pathing, but the missiles fly true. With the big scary ship crippled, the Longlands moves in to clean up its leaderless escorts. We're going to pick up ANS Great Salt Sea from the daycare because it's going to make logistics so much easier, just trust me on this. We arrive at Caltrop to discover that 3 groups of enemies have been tailing us the whole time. Alright, microphone test. Hello, welcome to Microsoft PowerPoint. By the way, if you haven't subscribed yet, why the hell not? You're already like 7 minutes in, isn't this the high quality content you come to see? Anyways, suppose that we have 2 nations here. We have the Great Clan Collective of Unkland and the Glorious Republic of, Redland or something, I don't know. So anyways, Unkland is sick of the Redland warships simply chaffing away all of their missiles. So what is an Unkland engineer to do? Now, one thing that Unkland engineers can do is they can put a validator on their missile. Now, what a validator does is it's another type of seeker, and it's able to tell the primary seeker whether what it's looking at is a target or a decoy. There are many types of validators out there, and they take advantage of different things to determine whether something is a ship or not. It is famously said that no plan survives first contact with the enemy. My plan was to fly really high up and spam the OSP to death with missiles. Let's see how it worked out. When the OSPN shows up, they hit us with jamming. Wendy cancels her missile launch the instant she loses track. The OSP then dumps their entire stock of Block 2 Thunderheads at us. But it's fine, we have chaff and they'll all miss. Oh shit, they're command validated. Making the problem worse is their weaving terminal maneuver, which first of all makes them the only Thunderhead variant with that ability for some reason, and second of all means they get to bypass all of my point defense. Wendy pays through the nose for my mistake. The hero of the hour is ANS Longlands. Aether drives this ship like he isn't responsible for the occupational health and safety of her crew or something. While my 2 beamstones are horrifically out of position, Longlands swings around the flank of the OSPN and goes about the process of demolishing their force 1 ship at a time. Rescuing Great Salt Sea gives us access to our stock of ammunition. Oh, and also I forgot that the Winter Chain gets hit again. It just does that sometimes. I don't know why. It just does that. Welcome back to Beggar's Hollow. We immediately get jumped by 10 trillion bombers and die. I'm just kidding, we got here before the patch that added a thermal validator to the OSP torpedoes. This means their entire strike package gets countered by 3 puffs of chaff. Blackwall is a surprisingly easy mid-game mission. Besides a small plasma-related scare, we take care of the enemies really easily. I also take the time to field test some of the new shipwreck missiles that I've been given. Damn, they're good! After clearing the station, we take some time to rearm, repair, and resupply.
Drive flares detected. Multiple enemy ships inbound to the shipyard.
The OSP hit us with a pincer attack. On one side is a group of very angry monitors armed with 600mm cannons. My beamstones meet the approaching monitors. It's a messy brawl, but the beam cannons pull through for them. On the other side of the map, Longlands finds herself fighting 2 line ships. These are armed with the 450mm guns in casemate mounts. They are almost double the caliber of Longlands' guns. If it comes down to a slugging match, the lands will die. Thankfully, the OSP captains simultaneously all have a stroke and target the Winter Chain instead. This means that Longlands is free to unload 250mm HE into these guys without being harassed. The battle ends when the 2 beamstones get into range of the line ships and I flick on the battle shore switch. The loot from Blackwall barely covers the ammunition expended. Some of my ships have to make do with broken components. The upside to all this is that the shipyard had a ton of fuel and some replacement airframes for harsh winds blow. Glimmering Reach is a very easy mission. Basically, the game gives you this Axford class cruiser and all you need to do is have it face the enemy and pound them into smithereens with its 450. Everyone will be getting hit by a shipwreck. What even is ammo conservation? I don't even care at this point. You are all going to die. Also, after the battle, Aether dies of dysentery. If I kill Windy, you lose. My colleagues call me crazy, but they'll see. Okay, if you don't mind, I'll just be passing by. I don't think so.
Engineering casualty. Loss of main propulsion. Loss of all reactors.
What the fuck? How did you do that? Launch the modified ISO 668 compliant containers. Sir. You modified a container into a missile? The rules of the game are very simple. Kill the little hobo in his container ship before he sinks Harsh Winds Blow. Longlands leads the charge. It actually wasn't too hard charging down the container ship while shooting all of its missiles down. Damn, he wanted me dead. We arrive at Frostline to discover that we've been expected.
Attention, Alliance Fleet. This is Commodore Benjamin Barrett. You are outnumbered and outgunned. Surrender. Admiral Constantine will guarantee your safe passage back to Alliance space through the gate with your ships and your lives. There will not be another opportunity like this one. Tristan, Lucille, I know you are on that ship. Please, just turn around and go home. I do not want to kill you or your spacers. But if you go any further, you will force my hand.
Benjamin is a smart fella. He knows that to win a battle, you must bring more firepower than the enemy. Besides the 2 450 Marauders, he's brought a third with 100mm guns and plasma cannons, a carrier in the back, yet another 600mm monitor, and several early warning radar platforms. His flagship OSPM Black Sands is a recommissioned Ocello-class command cruiser. Even if I stay at range, he can still smash me to bits with his railguns. My Voidcraft and missiles won't work because Black Sands has one of the most powerful point defense nets you can put onto a singular ship. We'll have to fight this out the hard way. This mission is so fun that I played it 4 different times to really enjoy it and for absolutely no other reason. It takes a lot of safe scumming, but I'm able to slowly close in on Benjamin without giving him a chance to shoot at me, that you know of. Attaching the Winter Chain to Longland seems to be highly effective. For one, it resulted in Chain not being targeted anymore, and 2, it gives Longland's jamming support so it can pound away with the 250s in relative safety. My bombers do a good job of taking out everything outside of Black Sand's point defense range. 2 hours later, it's just Benjamin and his 450 liners left. It's been a tough fight, but I'm sure Benjamin has a plan to win with only 2 line ships. Benjamin proceeds to YOLO his line ships in front of my entire fleet. Before they can even fire, they are jammed and the Longlands is already pounding at them with her 250s. The beamstones join in with battle-shorted beams, and when the line ships finally do fire, they fire at Nomad Giant, the Axford-class heavy cruiser, the one ship in the fleet that can survive a salvo of 450mm fire unscathed. That's it, I'll finish you off myself! God damn it, he's pushing. We have to counter. Longlands' counter push means that my beamstones go unharassed, and they proceed to hit Benjamin with a 16G wireless connection. Damn it! I can't believe it's come to this! Your IP address is 127.0. That's not a public IP address. Damn you, Longlands! Oh, also the OSP hands me a carrier's worth of supplies for free. Oh, well, that's weird. The objective's been done for us. Well, let's move on. I'm sure this won't come up later. Borrow is an amazing mission because the game hands you another heavy cruiser. Also, the OSP hands me a carrier's worth of supplies for free. Fated Call is a room where we answer a fated distress call from an OSP carrier. What? This is basically a demonstration mission where the game lets you blow up some OSP ships with your newfound cruiser and bombers. This is one of the rare missions with the OSP on the attack, and it demonstrates why a 450-liner rush into a prepared battle group is a terrible idea. Oh, also, the OSP hands me 2 carriers worth of supplies for some reason. I have planes, I have torpedoes, and I have bullets. All I need are missiles to fill up my VLS tubes. This is why my next target is Naval Magazine Ashroot. This battle was textbook. My bombers rush in and spank the 2 line ships here like a drunk father who just came home. This is followed by Longlands charging in, guns blazing. The 2 heavy cruisers pound away with their 450s from the back. The enemies can't even fire back because there's like 4 jammers hammering their sensors. They're dead in 6 minutes, on the dot. Apparently we still have some friendlies on the station and they've hidden away the newest stuff for us. We get to repair and replenish for real this time without getting jumped. The target of this expedition, well, okay, besides the Aura Farmer, the other target is finally within reach. Dry flare spotted, ETA 2 minutes. Excellent! Speech. Ah, crap. ChatGPT, please generate me a cool speech for an upcoming battle. Here we go. Children of a dead earth. Whatever the fuck that means. More importantly, sons of Bethel. Yeah, that sounds more like it. Today, we killed the greatest enemy of the OSP. We avenge Benjamin. We avenge the heroes of Caltrop. We avenge the service members of Task Force Hammer. This is the day that we sink the Longlands. We will give them no quarter. Benjamin was a hero, but also a fool. He didn't bring enough ships with him. I have rectified his mistake. Transmit to all stations. Execute Operation Burning Lands. God damn it! Look, this mission is basically the same shit in a different toilet. I hide my entire fleet behind a rock. The OSP sends their first wave in. Between Lance, the 2 heavy cruisers, and my bombers, we survive. Actually, we thrive. All of their early warning radars are now dead. The scary monitor pushing us is kaput. All of their bombers have been vaporized, and they have a single flight of fighters left, and they're keeping it in the back. The next hour is spent jockeying for position. I push my double heavy cruiser stack out in the open, and it pounds away at the OSP under the cover of jamming. Following closely behind are Lance and my 2 beamstones. The OSP captain seems to be playing a very tight game here, until ChatGPT, how do I win with my current forces?
To win the battle, you have to split up your force of line ships and attack the enemy with half of your ships at a time.
Explain your reasoning.
I'm glad you asked. These are really the type of questions that separate you.
Sounds good to me. Alright, let's go. 3 line ships show up at close range and I panic. One of the beamstones, through valor alone, survives a barrage of enemy fire through valor alone. I return fire with my guns and all of the missiles I have, and somehow this kills all 3 enemy line ships. ChatGPT, do I commit the second wave?
Executing random number generation. 0 for no, 1 for yes. Yes, the time is right to attack.
By facing my entire fleet with only a part of their fleet, they actually gave me the firepower advantage in both engagements. 1 final enemy remain. ChatGPT, get me out of this situation.
I'm sorry, I cannot fulfill this request.
Crap. Here he goes. Before we continue, we have to advance the B-plot that's been happening in the background. In comes ANS Swift Toxin. Her commanding officer tells us everything we've experienced has been planned by Big C all along. Benjamin, the hobo, even the ChatGPT guy, they were loyal to the Protectorate until the end. But they weren't loyal to Constantine, and that's what mattered. They were sent out here to be killed by us. Constantine knew we would be out here. He planned for it. Even now, we're playing a part in his plan. He's not loyal to the Alliance, that's for sure. But he's not loyal to the OSP either. He has a vision for a new future. And it's too late for any of us to stop it. Thank you for watching. This video has been an absolute blast to make. I really like this game and wanted to make something very special for it. There's more jokes that I wanted to put in, but had to cut out for time reasons, and also because I think I'm kind of sick and I've been really dizzy for the past week. Anyways, if you enjoyed, please like and subscribe. Ace Combat vs. Real Life Part 2 is next. Bye bye!